G'day guys, my name is Dave, and in this video I'm going to be checking out the new Roadie 3 tuner. Now this is an upgrade from the Roadie 2 tuner that I checked out a few years ago, and there definitely are some significant upgrades to the Roadie 3 tuner, which is great. So in this video I'm just going to be running you through how it works, all the features and the new features that are involved in this Roadie 3. And at the end of the video I'll just be giving you a short summary of the pros and cons and who I think it's for. Before I show you how it works and all the features, I just want to show you what you do get inside the box. So it's just a nice little compact box here, and inside you get a quick start guide and just a USB-C to USB type A cable. And that is everything in the box, and obviously the Roadie 3 tuner. Alright, so let's take a look at the Roadie 3 and what it can do. Now here it is alongside the Roadie number 2. And as you can see, there are quite a few design changes here. Now, the most notable will be the LCD screen, which is now full color. Originally, it was just a single color on the Roadie 2, but also the way that you control the Roadie is actually quite different as well. So now we have a 4-button control pad as opposed to a single button and a click wheel on the Roadie 2. Now, to power it on, you just simply hit the power button right there, and we'll get into our main menu. So in the main menu, there's 4 different sections that you go to. There's obviously the tuner, then you have a metronome, and there's a string winder, and finally settings. Now let's go into the tuner, and once you go into the tuner, you can select between your different instruments. So right now I've just got 2 instruments saved, but you can add multiple instruments so that you got all your tunings ready to go when you need them. But I've just got 2 here to demonstrate. Now the first one here I've got in open E tuning. Now when you go into that instrument, you can change the settings. You can go in by pushing the right button, and you've got tuning there, which is currently open E, but if we want to change that, we can go in and change that to something else, but let's keep it open E. Go back, we can change whether there's a capo on the guitar or not. We can change the reference pitch of A4. And finally, you can just rename your instrument or delete it. So let's just go back to the tuning section. And in the tuning section, we're starting with the lowest string here, but you can just scroll through any of the strings if you want to tune a string individually. But starting at the top, let's just put it onto our headstock, play the note. And when you hear that beep, you're obviously in tune. So it'll automatically detect when your guitar's in tune, and it'll move on to the next string. Now, you want to be careful here. You do want to go in order, because if I was to put this now back on the low E, it would think that this is the 4th string. And it will just continually tune up to that. So you don't want to be snapping strings like that. So just really ensure that you are doing it sequentially. So I'll just start back at the top. And so on and so forth. Now, currently I have it set to accurate tuning. So this is going to take the most amount of time to tune, but you can change the settings to go to fast mode. So it's going to tune as fast as it can, and it's still quite accurate, but it's just a matter of speed. Whereas when you go accurate, it will really take its time to try to make sure that your string is in pitch. All right, so that's the tuning, very straightforward. And again, you can add multiple instruments here and saving different tunings as well. So it's really handy if you got a whole bunch of instruments that you need to tune quickly. This is a great tool for that. Next, let's go to metronome. So the metronome uses just an internal beep sound, but you could also use the vibrating mechanism on this as well with the metronome. So let's just go into that. So to change the settings of the metronome, you can just push right. You can go down, set the tempo. Let's make it a bit faster. You can go down, and you can set the number of beats as well. So we can go 5 or 6 beats. Now there'll always be an accent on the first beat. So it's Perhaps not the most flexible metronome, but hopefully they'll be able to update this feature in the future. So let's go back to 4 beats. And right now it's just sound, but we can change it to vibrate or vibrate and sound. And to get out of that, we can just go back. So that's the metronome. Next is the string winder. So very self-explanatory. When we go into the string winder, we can push up to start winding at a slow speed. If you want to increase that velocity, just go up to the max. But if you want to wind in the other direction or unwind, you can just go down. So there it is, the Roadie 3 and all of its features. Definitely an upgrade from the Roadie 2 in my opinion. The feel of it is a bit more premium. Now the plastic is more of a soft plastic feel, so it's kind of got that rubbery plastic feel, which is much nicer than that solid plastic feel that the Roadie 2 had. Okay, so to summarize, the Roadie 3 tuner is a cool gadget that can help you switch between tunings really quickly, tune your guitar, and also functions as a metronome as well, and a string winder for when you're changing your strings. Now the pros are obviously the fact that you can add a whole bunch of different tunings to this, create your own tunings, and just switch between tunings really quickly without having to think about what notes you need in each sort of tuning. They're already saved to the tuner. So switching between stuff like open C, open E, open D, dadgad, it's really, really easy. I think the other really strong feature of this is the fact that it's a string winder. Now, automated string winder is really, really handy when you're re-stringing guitars because, you know, to just wind it with your hand, although that's completely fine, it is a lot easier to have a winding tool. So if you're in a live setting and you need to restring your strings super quickly, or you're a guitar tech or something like that, this is a great tool because not only is it going to tune your strings, but it'll wind them as well really quickly. All right, now to the cons. Now, if you're going to be playing in standard tuning about 100% of the time and you only need micro adjustments to your tuning, then I would say it's probably easier to use a regular clip-on tuner to just fine-tune those strings rather than using this. Another downside that I've found as well is that if you're tuning down to a note, so let's say the pitch of your string was too high, the Roadie 3 actually would tune it down to pitch, but then it would just stop there, which is all well and good, but generally when you're tuning a string, the main tip is to, if you're tuning from a higher pitch and you want to get to your target pitch, say I'm tuning this note down and I've hit my target note, which is there for example, I would actually want to tune down a tiny bit more and then go back up to my target pitch. So when you're tuning down to a pitch, you always want to go below it and then tune back up to that pitch. And that will just ensure a bit more tuning stability. So that is one thing I found that this tuner didn't do. And there were times when it did do that, where it would go too far down and then it would bring itself back up to the right pitch. But there were a lot of times where it just went straight down to the exact pitch. Now that is something that I feel like they could update in a firmware feature down the line, because it is all digital, which is a great thing. There can be improvements to this. So who would I recommend this to? If you're a player who is constantly switching between tunings, then this is an awesome tool for you. If you're a guitar tech or a roadie and you need to change strings a lot and you need a good string winder that is also a tuner, then this is an awesome tool. But if you are in standard tune 100% of the time, then I think this might not be a necessary tool for you. But having said that, if you want the comfort of having something tune the guitar for you without you having to think about it, then this might be a good option as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short review of the Roadie 3 tuner. If you have any questions about it, then leave it in the description below. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.